Righto. Well, here we are now. This is completely new to me, doing a live stream. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to have a go by putting a few decals on said helicopter. Yeah, this is all very new. This is all, so I might know what I'm doing when it comes to this show here. So I've been invited to do this show, and I'm looking forward to it now that I've had the confirmation. I think it was this morning I found out, and I thought I've been waiting and waiting, and yeah. So yeah, see you there. We'll be square, as they say. So right. I don't expect any. I don't know what's. I don't know. Like I say, I don't know what goes on here. I've got some people. Oh, right. So people do watch me live. So it's Dancing Brush. Hello, mate. And there was one other one that popped up just now. I'll say hello to you as well. How are you doing? Yeah, nervous. Hence the jibber jabber jibber jabber jibber jabber. But I think it's going to be more nerve wracking when I go to the show. And oh my life, be like being up on stage, wasn't it? You know, all scrutinising, and you know, wondering what's what and all that. But I don't know. It'd be good. It'd be good, I suppose. Probably might be good for the channel. I don't know. Hello, Stuart. How are you doing? How do I get the chat up on this thing? I have no idea. No idea. So what happens is something will come up here saying, like now, Dancing Brush, are you building a Sage 53 now? No, this thing. So I'll make a long story short. So this thing, basically, I glued it together some years ago, and it got as far as just the bodywork. And I had one of these, and I had another one, which was a Sea Stallion. So the Sea Stallion I completed, and then I lost it in a move. I don't know where it went. So it's probably packed away in some box, Lord knows where, in the lockup. But this one, it came with me, and it was about a year ago. I think I decided that, do you know what, I tell you what, all of us modelers, we're all as bad as each other. I mean, up there, they're hanging on the wall like bats, and this was one of them. And I thought to myself, do you know what, this is actually quite a large helicopter. Now, I looked at, I think it was a forum I belonged to, and there was a chap on there, and he finished his, but he done it with all the rotor blades closed, and the tail fin was bent round, whichever way it goes, that way or this way. I think it comes this way. And it looked absolutely stunning. And I thought, you know what, I need to do mine. And you know, it's because it was just sitting there idling. And so in the end I picked it up, and basically it sat up there above my light for quite some time, and it was just the two grey, so you had the dark grey on top and the light grey. And then I decided to weather it, and I only had a very few pictures of it being weathered. And anyway, this is what it ended up like, but I thought I can't go too far. Although I have seen these things in real life, they're absolutely filthy. I mean, this is clean compared to what the real things are. So I thought, right, I'll get it this far. I'll get the decals on, and then I'll finish it off. And so it's been sat there and sat there and sat there. And it was just, when it comes to doing like a live chat, I thought, right, okay. So this morning was kind of a bit of a, so what do I do now sort of thing. And hence the reason why I'm now here practicing a live feed and a live chat. I couldn't notify anyone because, you know, I don't know how you lot get notified. Probably by a ping or something. I don't know. But anyway, I'm here. I'm here, and it's nice to. That's right. I can get a bit of actions. Not my favourite part, Stuart. I haven't got any more of these helicopters, but I don't know. Did I show you how I did? I think I was showing how I did the weathering on the Airfix helicopter. I kind of like try and make life easier for everyone. Bush Ranger just come up. I forget his name. Tom, isn't it, or something? Anyway, how you doing, fella? Yeah, I try and... So when I do weathering, you know, people come out with nice, clean aeroplanes and stuff like that. Yeah, don't get me wrong, they look absolutely fantastic. But some people might want to put a sail bit on. They get scared to do it because they think at the end of the day, they could ruin the model. Well, I can assure you, you can, but you can also ruin a model by over-weathering as well. So what I try to do, because, I mean, I've not worked with these helicopters. I've seen them when I went to America. They were in a base that was a few miles up the road. I can't remember what it was now. I was at Oceana, and they were up a base down the road, and me and a friend decided to go and take a nosy, and yeah, that's when I got the full gist of how big they really are, and hence the reason they're nicknamed the shitter. Pardon my French. But yeah, no, they were there, and I thought to myself, well, that's going from memory, so that was quite some years ago. But just looking at the one and only book I've got, I thought to myself, well, you know, you can still clearly see these markings. And now, by the way, oh crap, I've got the wrong tweezers there. I'm not using any solvents at the moment. Number one is because I've run out of the blue Microsol, and Microset, where does this thing go? By the window. So I can't remember how. That's about right, isn't it? So, as I'm aware, Academy transfers were pretty good. So I'll put that on there like that. And this is where I picked up a little tip from, oh, God knows who it was now. I can't remember whose channel or what their name was. But anyway, instead of, I mean, you can have a bowl, but they used to say, oh, I spray my stuff. So you get a little squirter. And yeah, but no, hang on, I've lost track. This is autism for you, by the way, at its best. Yeah, so I'll talk about one subject, go on to another subject, and then all of a sudden. But anyway, Stuart, what I'm saying is basically, so when I weather these things, I try and show on my video how I do it, and to make life. So if you wanted to, so if you had a one of these, for instance, with the weathering that I apply to on the Sea King, which is up there, you could do the same with this. I mean, this is all airbrush. This here is Tamiya putty, which is for the walkways. But what I do is I don't, so I miss bits. So I'll mask it off because it's a straight line. And then what I'll do is I'll go along and I'll just dab it on and, you know, and miss bits. This here on the front of the tank, so let's bring it a bit closer. So this bit here, so that was done using chinchilla dust. So all you do is you mask off an area, you put a load of Tamiya white cement on there, and then just sprinkle this dust on, and it comes off like that. I think that was the same. No, that was Tamiya putty. That was Tamiya putty. That's Tamiya putty as well, I think. Yes, it is, because I can really feel by the texture. And so was that. But I got a picture of this. Now, there was one where I had the hub taken off. And you can see like there was like these hash lines, and then this. It was just all different types of treader, sort of, whatever they call it, anti-slip on them. So yeah, so it was all good. 80, 08. Oh yeah, that's ours. So I'm just cutting out the decals. What I think is ours here. Yep. Do we have a black one? No, we don't. So that isn't ours. Well, I hope you've all been well anyway, and that there's no illness. I know that over here in the UK, the weather seems to fluctuate up and down, and I've got a friend whose wife is, she's not too clever. She's on the mend now, so I've heard. So, Adrian, if you watch this at some point, you know, hopefully you and the lovely Stella are doing okay, and wishing you all the best, the pair of you, and health. Yeah, hopefully Stella gets back on her feet soon, rather than, you know, these things tend to drag sometimes. So I'm just cutting these out. When I don't know what it is. When I talk, I tend to sod it up. I'm like my daughter in the other room. She's a natterbox. Glad she didn't hear that. She would probably say none the wiser. But anyway, right. So what we got here? Number 6. So we'll cut one of those out and put that in the water there. So yeah. So oh, Stuart, you're full of cold, are you? So your art class this afternoon. So you do art. So you're, you know, not only is this art, but you're doing art as in paintings and stuff like that. I must admit, I was only saying to somebody the other day, because they were saying about what you got qualifications from school, and art was one of them. But the teacher couldn't work out. She used to say to my mum, "He does brilliant," you know. He said he can draw a bottle of wine, and oh, that's great. Many drawings, blinding, crikey. So what did you draw? Did you draw aircraft or just sceneries? Anything in particular, or do you have a subject that you stick to? Like, I mean, I had a friend who used to draw birds and fish. But yeah, carrying on with what I'm saying. See, autism again. So what it was she used to say to my mum, you draw these, plants or a bottle of wine and a bowl of apples. Mostly anything. Good on you, mate. Keep the spectrum wide. And but she used to turn around and say, "I don't know where the aeroplanes come from." So you'd have a bowl of food and a bottle of wine there, and then there'd be a tornado coming around. And she said the aircraft were very detailed, but she said, "I don't know where." And my granddad always used to say, "That's a good imagination." Hence this. I must admit, I've been doing it for years. Ever since I was a kid, I've been tinkering around with these kits and stuff. And I've always said to my lot, at the end of the day, keep your imagination going, because that's what fuels your desires. And sometimes, and often my son sits next door to me here, and he's got an Xbox, and sometimes you hear him when he gets carried away. And, that's right, yeah, modelling is art, really, isn't it? When you think about it, it's kind of, what would they call it, 3D art? No, you don't have to be, I mean, I was nobody special at art school, but I must admit, I got told by a chap who used to do the models for Matchbox, and he said to me that weathering is a fine art, and it is, I suppose. I mean, I don't, I never have rated myself. I don't want to, because people turn around and say, "Oh, Christ, you're a master at that." Well, do you know what? You can't be, because a master still learns. A master doesn't. No one stops learning. So I would have just settled for, yeah, you're really good at that. Not a master. There's no way that that's because everybody learns. Everybody learns all the time. And, you know, it's, hang on, let's try. I'm getting the air bubbles out of here. Look. Once you've got one side sorted, the other side comes pretty good. I need that tissue now. There it is. Yeah, I mean, it's all he turned around and said to me was, I can't remember his name now. Ted was his name, I think. Was it Ted? Yeah, pretty sure it was. And basically what he said to me was you've either got it or you haven't. And the only reason he said this to me is I went to a club up in London where he happened to be a member. And when I saw him, I said to him, I goes, oh, it's a nice old course he done, which was the Trumpeter 32 one. I said, but what about the weathering? And he looked at me with, you know, he just looked at me. It was that look, you know, the 1,000-yard stare look, as if I'd trodden in dog shit and wiped it on his boots sort of thing. And it wasn't until later on in life when he got to know me a lot better and he turned around and said what he said, which was, you know, it is an art. Yeah, I agree. And you've either got it or you haven't. Well, I don't know about that one because if you haven't got it, have you got it or you haven't got it? I don't know because do you know what? Everyone can do weathering or well, yeah, it's weathering, isn't it? Everyone can do it to a degree, so you know it doesn't have to be like this. You know, it could be something, you know, plain and simple, which is like this. You know, that's weathering, just the odd change of panel colour, the odd change of bodywork colour. Could be, could be as simple as that, or you know, again this. So this is another one I've done. So you've got the change of colours, but it's a bit waxified because I've used Tamiya weathering powders to pull the sand and stuff on it. But I mean, do you know what? These things, so not this scale, because this is one stupid scale, 1/72. What's that in there? Anyway, 1/35 scale tanks. Tanks. You want to practice doing something like that, buy one of these. Buy a tank and then go and weather it. Because it doesn't matter what you do, you can't go wrong with a tank. I had one person once, this was going back, what? I've never forgotten it. It's back about 10 years ago now, I think it is. Maybe more than that. How old is she? She's 4. Yeah, so yeah, it's probably about 10 years ago. And I had the Abrams tank, but I had it in 1/16 scale. The radio controlled version from Tamiya. So I painted it and weathered it and da-da-da. Anyway, some guy wrote in the thing, that's not to scale, because I'd put a big splash up the side where it all run down, you see. So I said, can you make yourself a bit clearer? What do you mean it's not to scale? And he was saying that the puddle mark was oversized. It was too big. So I then posted up the picture I copied it from and said, are you going to say the same thing now? Silence. How can you say it's not to scale? Weathering doesn't go to scale. Weathering is just you weather something. So you know you're not going to exactly take a tape measure out and measure from where it starts to where it finishes, and that's your line. Because it don't happen like that. You know, this gets this here, so that one jets down there. This one here, although I've seen it where it blasts over there, I have seen discoloration round here because of that. And you know, and you think, well, where are you going with this then, mate? Because, I mean, obviously, you must know better than me. But obviously, those that know best. The best one was it wasn't mine, it was a friend of mine. And he had a Millennium Falcon, I think it was. And some bloke started saying that the colour was wrong on something. So my friend wasn't very, how can we call it, quick back with the answers. So I kind of heard what was going on and did it for him. I turned around and said to the guy, show us a picture of the real thing, and I said, we'll change it. That's the beauty of sci-fi. Ain't no real thing. So I had to laugh, but he buggered off. He never came back and said anything because he couldn't prove it because Millennium Falcon don't bloody exist. Although, I don't know, they found something at the bottom of the sea, didn't they, a few years ago, and it looked like the Millennium Falcon. And I didn't think there was some documentary on the TV the other day saying about that. I thought to myself, ooh, that's a bit uncanny. Don't know what that's all about, but that definitely looks suspicious on the bottom of that water. I think they said it was, what was it, 300, was it 300 feet? 300 feet, there's a big difference between 330, but it was either 300 or 30 feet. No, 30 feet, it must be more than 30 feet, because the guys had, what do you call it, proper diving equipment on. Because if it was 30 feet down, you'd only need a scuba kind of outfit. But yeah, anyway, it was a fair way down, and they got down to it, and they couldn't. They got chippings from it or something. But anyway, I'm veering off, and I'm just going to have a sip of the old tea. God, blimey, it's better. Maybe it's better. So, that was a bit dubious. What was that? Can rattle. So there we are. So I've got the decals on, and they look reasonably good. No, that was just bollocks it. Do you know what? I saw that crack in that thing then. Just there you go. I could do with a bit more. I'll have to get a brush now. Get a bit of water on there. See if I can free up the decal. Yeah, it would have to go under, wouldn't it? There you go, see that? Oh dear. See, a bloody master wouldn't do this, would he? I'm bloody sure. Oh, here we go. Oh, now I've got to try and... They're probably brittle because they're old, these decals. That's probably why it cracked. Oh. What's going on here? Yeah, I mean, like I say, you can't expect something that's sat around for 20 years to be like a packet of new decals. Still, there we go. Don't know about that. How does that work then? I reckon it goes around the other way. Try it the other way and see what happens there. Oh, there you go. That'll have to do. If I mess about with it anymore, it will definitely crack and split and cross knows what. Right, here comes another one. Put that in there. Where does this go? Right in there. Start it again. Start it again. Yeah. Oh, there's been new stickers there. What's that say? Oh, it's carrying. Oh, yeah. So that pause was the van insurance. I don't know why I did that. Shouldn't have paused it, I wouldn't have thought, but there you go. Right, here we are. It'll be somewhere. It's this one. All our brown fumes is done with this. Clear brown, GX109. There you go. And all you do is you put a couple of drops of that in, quite a few drops of that. So you'd probably go either a 90-10, so 10% of that, 90% of that, and then you just spray it over, and yeah, you get your weathered fuel dump look by it. And what happened to that? I was doing that, wasn't I? Before that woman interrupted us. Right, there we go. Put that over there for a minute. I think that's about, where are we? It's amazing how these decals, although I think you can see it on the screen there, but they're yeah, they're very sink right into the colour of it. Yeah, you can see it there, just about. Well, you'll get rid of that cotton bud, it's soaked now. What else have we got here then? So we've got some God, I don't tell you, does it tell you? Yes, it does. Number 4, that one there, he goes on the front. So stick number 4, that's it. He can go on the front. And then iron ores, he can go on the front because that's where he goes. Oh yeah, there we are. That's that. So there's all the stencil work there. A, B, and B and C. All right. And it shows you how old this is. Look at all the mould that appeared in the paperwork. It's just mould, that is. All dead, but yeah, look, even the hinges are rust. Hinges? Staples. Discoloration of the front page to the last, look. It's not a bad kit, mind you. But ResKit now do a massive load of engines and main rotor head for it, and you know, they gone to town, they have. So that's right, stay there. Now, what are we doing? We're doing the front end. So let's put that there like that. And something tells me that ain't going to work. Don't know why. Right. So the 08 goes under there. Right. And the iron ores goes above it. So is that right? 08, yeah. So that goes there. And that iron ores goes along there. Look, I've got bloody windscreen wiper missing as well. That's what happens. Well, they call it anger rash when bits get, stuck in the docks for a while. Then it's like I've got a Harrier here for a chap, and anyway, the only thing is he lives up north of me, some 3-hour, 4-hour drive away, and I live down here, and I was going to post it to him, but so many times I've heard people post stuff and it's like it gets damaged, and then you give him money back because it's broken, or it has to come back and be repaired. Now, I said I'd never do commission builds, but this delightful fella served with the Harriers and so desperately wanted one. So I said I'd make him one, and I finally gave in and said I'd make him one, which I have. But my problem now is how do I get it to him? So I've decided to, I said to him, I goes, do you fancy, meeting up, or I could bring it to you? And he said, oh, it's a long old way. So I thought, yeah, it is. But you know what? I know it gets there in one piece, and you've got it, and that's it. And I'm not worried about it then. I can relax because I know that it's got there in one piece. So he's offered to meet me halfway, but because I was doing this show up in Ipswich, I didn't know whether he might be, that might be near to him, but he's got a few family things to sort out. So I said, leave it as it is, and we'll sort something out, and then go from there. And so that's what we're going to do. But he will get his Harrier, and I think he's got another one for me to do, a Tornado F3. I wish, mind you, say be careful what you wish for, but I wish they'd bring one out in 32 scale, because Italieri's done a nice job on the Tornadoes, albeit they're a little bit heavy on the panel lining, but even so, they are far better than that Revel offering. And the reason I'm laughing is because I work for them and all. I do work for Revel. I do their kit. I don't do all of them. I just get the odd few here and there, and you'll make a model like this. Obviously, you can't weather it too much, and basically they take photos of it, and then it goes on the box, and it's either on the side or on the back. I think it's all on the back now. It used to be on the side, but it's all on the back, and it shows you how you can turn the model out. And I thought to myself, it's cool, because it's nice to do something like that, because you feel like you're giving back to the people. It's like when I'm in the shop down in New Haven, Model Works shop in New Haven. I know someone's going to watch it from there. I know my mate Justin. He's my Robin. And he's a fantastic lad. I tell you, I couldn't wish for a better. The two of us work, and it definitely makes the day go quicker, which is a shame. That's about the only thing I'll say about it. But just to spend time with him, and and I mean he's been through the walls a bit in his life, just like all of us, I suppose. But his one started, unfortunately for him, at the age of 13. So, but even so, we get together and we work the day through, and it's like nice when you see people come in and they're happy to see you, and I'll tell you who that is, because I know they might not be watching me now, but I know this. I'm taking this live will sit in my channel's content. So 2 people, George and Neil. They're like brothers, them two. Although they're not. Well, I don't think they are anyway. I think they're just really good friends, which is nice to see. They come down the shop virtually every weekend. George, Neil, yeah, they've always, I like helping people. I described it once as it's like when you go fishing and you go down the riverbank and mate you sitting there and he's in the best spot and you go up to him because he's packing up and you say to him, where would you suggest his first time down here? Where would you suggest off here? And he tells you go and fish over there, which is a load of crap. Yeah, but he's leaving. So what's it to him? But they do that kind of thing. Well, it's a bit like modelers. Modelers can be, some of them can be like that. And it's not until you get, people like Nigel's modelling bench, like him. Who else was there? Greg. What was his channel? I can't remember his bloody channel now. I saw him at Telford as well. Like Greg, and he explains how to do things, and you can better your skills. And then along comes me, the one that's got no editing skills, kids running around all over the place, screaming and shouting while you're trying to do a video. And I'm telling you, the only reason I'm getting this one done is because they're all at school barring one. No, two, because one's ill and the other one's had to go to the doctors. Yeah, and then you can show people, look, this is how you do things. This is how I do things. You don't have to do what I do because I'm not the Messiah, but this is how I do it. And if it makes life easier for you and at the end of the day you get a good result, that is what counts. That's what makes me happy. Because there's another guy, Peter, that comes in the shop. There's a few Peters, but this particular Peter, ex-army Pete, the one that called me the monk, he, the Revel 262, I haven't built that. Was that the 32 kit? Because I did an old 32 kit of the 262, and I remembered I looked at the old boxing and I thought, I wonder what that is like. I don't think they've ever revamped it either. But anyway, going back to Pete. Now, he's another one. He come in, there was something that he wanted to know about, and he comes in with questions. He doesn't always come in and buy anything, but he's definitely loaded with questions. And, I always answer them to the best I can. If it's something I haven't, Mike Cohen, that's her name. Yeah, he's always helpful as well, isn't he? I mean, there are a few of us out there. There are some they'll put it online out that they're making a model, and then they'll make it in a video. But there's lots of bits where you don't know what's going on, so you'll look at it and you'll think, yeah, how did he do that? But he hasn't said. Your kids are your best trolls. Are you sure? Mike Cohen, is he the one that built the those armour dioramas? Because if he is, I was absolutely fascinated by it. He'd pick a picture and then he did a lineup of some American Shermans and some American Jeeps and stuff. That's if it's him. I'm pretty sure it is him. He's Canadian, if I remember right. Yes, I know exactly who you're talking about now. Yeah, him. Boy, oh boy, he could make a diorama. Now, if you wanted to make dioramas, you could learn tons from him because he told you how to do it. 2016 parts. There was new parts put in 2019. Oh, right. Oh, maybe I might have to see my boss, Luke, and see if he's got one. I know I've tried to pitch a Vancouver. Yeah, is that Canada? I mean, I must admit, I'm not clued up on my geography now, but he was an absolute wand at doing dioramas, and he used to make it from household crap. That was the thing. He was really good at what he did, and I used to sit there. I tell you what, people sit, listen to me, and do modelling. Me, for him, I would have to sit there, stop what I'm doing, and just watch the video, because there's no way I could take it all in just by sitting there, not watching it and dilly-dee. But when you looked at it and what he'd done. My God, he was definitely something else. Let's see if I can get this. Is this no? That bugger's sticking up. Let's see if I can get that down. This is a bit of. It's taken over a year. He's still going straight. Yeah, because didn't he? I can't remember now what it was. I know he was. Bloody thing. He was disappearing off the modelling scene for a time. And I can never remember the name of his channel, but he was, the last I knew, he was disappearing because he was either in the police force or he had something to do with them. And yeah, okay, so it's a weird bunch. Tamia. That's good stuff though, isn't it? Eh? Can't really I mean this stuff, this here. So that's what I just painted on them decals. I mean that doesn't really as a matter of fact, I'm actually wondering whether it's that in there. It doesn't really smell of anything. It's quite old. Hang on, I'm gonna sneeze. So it must smell of something because it's tickled the ears. But when you smell this stuff, it's like vinegar. Bloody awful. Bloody awful. Right, that's that. What else did I put on? Oh, yeah. Bit around the front. Now, another thing that scares people is if you get a stubborn decal, and I showed this in the Takam Apache video. And what made me build one of them was Nigel's modelling bench. He couldn't get the transfers to stick there, and I thought, no, I'm not having that. They've got to go. They can't be that bad. They can't be that bad. So I got them. Little basement full of stuff. Then you get this stuff, and then that really stinks. So what it was Nigel would put the transfers on the helicopter, and they were silvering all over the place. And he tried everything. Now, this stuff works wonders. So if this stuff don't work, which it usually does 90% of the time, get this out and just once over the deck with a big brush. Then watch what happens. If that doesn't work, use that. But that, you have to be really quick and you have to get a brush straight over it and then leave it. Do not touch it because it melts it, and it melts it directly onto the model. So all the transfer paper around it just disintegrates and it's just left with the paint there. And believe you me, that does work. Hang on, I'm going to have to sound the train for a minute. Hang on. Oh, I've got to blow my nose. That sneeze. That didn't do me any... No. I thought I was going to sneeze again then, but no thank you. Right. Put it over there. It's getting warm, so hay fever. It's like it was raining, but it stopped. And now it's getting warm. But, yeah. What is the time? 1 o'clock. Blimey. Yeah, how long have I been doing this now? 44 minutes. Blimey. It does sound like a train, Stuart. I'll tell you. I can't remember. Was it, you know, when the old Yanks and they go to the truck drivers? Yeah, they do that to me as soon as I pick up a tissue. I've never disappointed yet. Oh dear, I've got my dad to blame for that. My God. They used to call me Dad Gonzo. What am I planning to build next, Stuart? Right, now that is a good question. So I had a request to build another Apache helicopter this morning by a guy who'd watched my video of me with the TACOM Apache, and I haven't answered him yet. Take care, buddy. There you go. See you later, Bushy. So yeah, so what it is I said, because he was saying about my face was in it. Although I was holding the helicopter, my face was there where the helicopter's in the bits are here sort of thing. And I'd only just started YouTube, so I hadn't been doing it long, so I was a bit crap at it. And not only that, at the time I was in temporary housing, so I didn't have all my setup like I've got here, and I definitely didn't have the arm that's holding the phone. So he's asked me to do another, so I thought, yeah, I will do that. I've also got a Kitty Hawk, what was it, an MH60, and I've also got the Strike Hawk, which is hanging up. I'll get it down, but I'll make so much bloody noise. Yeah. So I could either finish one of them, but if I'm going to go for a brand new straight-on build, I've got a choice of two things. I can either go for a Riffield Abrams tank or the Kinetic 124th Razorback. Choices. I've built a 24th P47 before, and I've done it in Gabby Gabreski colours. And it was on Arc Forum I did the build, long before I had YouTube, and long before I had children as well. And Gabby Gabreski's best friend and him was watching the build up until he passed away. I never knew any of this. And it wasn't until, some couple of years, 3 years down the line, I think it was, and I decided to finish it. And of course, the friend privately emailed me and said that, Gabby was watching the build and that he would be proud to put that model on his desk. But that was his words, not Gabby's words at the end. So that was quite something. I've still got that aeroplane. It's in a box in my lockup. It's a bit damaged now because it's what we call hangar rash. It's where you keep moving them around and boxes and stuff. And it's, but it's a nice aircraft. But I always wanted a Razorback, and I finally got one. Although I had some parts missing. Chung Raymond, who's the CEO, I think, of Kinetic, I was in contact with him. And finally, thanks, Ray, I have got the parts, so I can now start it and finish it. And it's got tailplanes, a fuel tank, and parts of the engine and the wheels, as before it didn't. It was missing those sprues. So that could be my next build, or I could go for a Riffield tank, which there are here, but I haven't got one to hand because it's over there. And an Abrams tank, and it's the one with the bulldozer front end. So it's one of them. Or I could go and get the Meng Apache and do that, because that's the American one, the longbow version, and do that. Yeah, there's a lot of parts in them rifle kits, Stuart, I must admit. The tracks always seem to be the one for me when you start building, because they give you a little framework, and then you start and you build the sections. And all of a sudden you think, right, I'll take that off. You build another, and you think, hang on a minute, no. You're supposed to. I think you're supposed to just move it along once you've done so much of it. So like if you've done 2/3 of the length of the actual guide, you move it along and then carry on building. But you've got to remember that you've got to count how many segments you do, because there's so many. It's like 100 bits each side, and not do what I did. What did I do? I think it was the Meng Gepard. And I started the track, and in the end, the track was so long, it was too long, and I didn't have enough for the other side, so I had to go back, and that's when I put it away then. Oh, no. And let the viewers choose the next build if you like. Yeah, that's not a bad idea. 10 things at a time, sure, is not the best way. I don't know. I mean, it's each to their own, really. I mean, if you find that you can build 10 links at a time and then they're easier to connect, then why not? Because, that's how it's going to work for you. Me, I think I was just being stupid. I didn't think any. I just thought, I'll start building, and I did, and I carried on, and yeah, I ended up doing what I do, and of course, in the end, I had to put the box away. But yeah, again, that's another one I've got to finish off that tank. It's got some nice optics in there, and the other thing as well is not with so much aircraft optics, but like when you get the glass and the stuff on the tanks and the optics on the tank, as well as using iridium like foil paper and stuff like that. I found also that there are some pens where if you've just got like a glass, so like armoured glass has got like a green tinge to it because it's not actually tinted. It's just because of the thickness. So when you see glass, it actually naturally got this green tinge to it because of the thick. Anything like greenhouse glass, which is 1 mil thick, you won't get it in there. It'd just be clear as day. But anything above sort of 10 mil, which is 1 centimetre, you're gonna have you'll see a tinge to it. And I use felt tip pens. They're not to hand either, or are they? No, they're not. No, it's not. Yeah, I bought a set off of Amazon, I think it was. It weren't very much, but there's a lot of them. Double-sided, so you got a fine tip and a fat tip. And they work well, and that is what I use to like colour these green glasses in here and put the funny orangey browny tint on there. And then this one here has got to be a green, but the live stream episodes on the next build. Yeah, that'd be good, wouldn't it, to do that? Yeah, I mean, I'll never know how long to do these. Well, like I say, I've never done a live stream until this one, but I mean, I don't know how long people do them for. I know that there was someone the other day saying about doing YouTube videos and keeping them to about 20 minutes. But as I pointed out to a chap in the shop, I said, yeah, but you can't. How are you going to learn to do that weathering in 20 minutes if it takes you 45 minutes to do it? You can't. You know, how are you going to learn to read a book in 20 minutes when it takes you quite a long time to read a book? You know, it's I know what they're saying because people get bored. Fuck it, I'll switch off. Great, do what you like. But at the end of the day, you know, be more involved with questions and answers. Yeah, that's true. Yeah, very true. Very true. Yeah, you are a bit more hands-on. It's probably just the time of day that I've chosen. There's not very many of you on here. I don't even know how many there are of you on here. Like I say, I've got a little list of things down the side here on my screen. I don't know what that is. It looks like a magic one with a blue dot. That's obviously the mic. That's to switch the camera around. This, I have no idea. That, I've no idea. I don't know what that is. It looks like it looks like the back end of the old Apollo 13 without the capture on top. I presume it's a camera, but I don't know. And then I've got, what's that? That's like, looks like settings or save or something. And then the cross here in that corner. And then there's number of humans there and number of likes there. But I don't know whether that human number is who's ever on. But see, learning curve. You learn something new every day. If I start pushing buttons and cut you lot off, that's why I'm leaving it alone. It was only when I had that phone call, although I didn't answer it, it stopped. I don't know, it paused it, and I presume it's that, what looks like a space shuttle. That was how I turned it back on. Don't know. Anyway, in my last video, talking of strange things, in my last video, did anyone see the anomaly that went up the side of the screen 13 minutes and 20 seconds in? Don't fix something when it's running. No, exactly. Never try to fix something that ain't broken. Yeah, in my last video, I was talking away, and 13 minutes and 20 seconds in, there was this thing that went up the screen. So I can talk about it now because I've seen people i.e. my neighbours, watching it saying, is that what I'm seeing? Or is that, or is it not there? You know, because it's another set of eyes. And they all turned around and said, no, there's definitely something there. Even Justin, who I work with, I got him to see it. I said, Justin, just tell me, am I seeing things or is it? No, there's definitely something. Nobody knows what it is. I have no idea. If it is one of them things out of Ghostbusters, then so be it. But it's a very strange thing to have happen. And it made me feel a bit weird over the last couple of days. But yeah, very strange. Right, now I've got to stick these on. First of all, I've got to find my water patch. There it is. So, yeah. Right. I know where they're going, I think. I'm pretty sure, yeah, they're on the back of there. There's one goes on the back of there. The other one goes there. And then the other one goes on the back of that engine there. Yeah, that's all three of them. I'm hoping. Yep, it does. Yeah, because there it is there. Right. That's the other thing as well, is when you're doing a live stream, I've noticed with other people when they're doing it, there's like a lot of talking going on, and sometimes you find that they always say, "Well, hang on, why does he stop doing what he's doing to answer?" I can see why now because I'm working off of a mobile phone, but they obviously work off of computers. So when you text me something, it comes up here in the middle of the screen. When you're on a computer, it must come up down the side of the screen because all the chat's in the side. So I can't see that on my phone because it's too small. But it's obviously there, and it's obviously going to be afterwards when I shut down that I'm going to be able to see all of that chat, which is odd, really. Oh, here we go. Right, what did I say? Is it higher? No, it's lower. Oh, that's there. And that one goes there. Oh dear, oh dear. See, they're a little bit, I have to be a little bit delicate with these. Oh yeah, about this helicopter. Do you have the build videos of the kit? I couldn't locate anywhere in the channel. This helicopter, if you're referring to this one, no. If you're referring to the Tacom Apache, yes. This one was never featured on the channel. And the simple reason being is it started so long ago that it was before I'd even started YouTube. Yeah, this is a very, like I say, a very, very old build. It's a shame because they did announce they were going to reissue this kit, but I think it came out in the form of a Sea Dragon. But from what I can remember and what I saw, what was going to be contained in the box, it does look like you will be able to do this particular model from the box. So, but I've never seen one in real life, so I can't guarantee that is the case. But it is a nice kit, and I think, come on, Academy, do it. let's reissue it. It'd be nice because you got today's stuff, right? With today's technology, that's what I meant by stuff. You could remake this kit far better than it is. So, they're chatting. Yeah, you could really, really go to town on this. Where's that gone? Oh, there it is. Right, that's all right, because it was this side I was working on. Yeah, you can make things a lot better. I mean, it's like the old filter cans. See, this here, right? So, these filter cans. So, how I got those dots is using a felt tip pen out of this pen set. That's how I did that. So you spray them, and then you go over it with your weathering, and then all you do is you get your pen and you just run it over the dots. You just like lay it, so there's your dot head, and the pen is a point like that. Don't do it like that, do it like that. So you run the pen flat, and that gives you that effect. The green glass, when you're doing glass with either paint or a pen, do it on the inside, never do it on the outside. The metal burnishings, again, all that is it's just like a gold or a brass, and then there's a bit of purple, tiny bit of red and blue in there, and then just go over the end bit with a flat black. So put a mask over there, so mask it all round, leave this exposed, and then just spray your black. It's not going to, what's it going to focus on? And then just spray your black over here until you see it marking up over there, and then you can give it a Tamiya weathering powder and just put a tiny bit of light grey or white on, and that will give you your scorched looking effect on the metalwork. And I find that works as well. It's pretty good. I'm going to stick one of these tail stickers on. Oh, blimey. Oh, for weeks I've been saying, because ever since we had this hot weather here, it's gone, well, it's chilled down a bit now. And we had rain today, a bit of rain yesterday in places. But ever since we had that hot weather for the last umpteen weeks, warm weather, I'd say, not boiling hot, but I suffered with hay fever. I don't normally suffer with it, but this time round, so I'm breathing heavy and my nose is all blocked up, and wearing glasses doesn't help. See, that would have been nice if we saw how you did that. Yeah, so you see the things like that. So the Apache hasn't got those type of filters, and at the moment the only thing that I can physically get hold of that's like this without paying collector's money for one is the Revel, is it a CH53G? Now she's camouflaged up in the German scheme. I've never done the German scheme one, but he's camouflaged. He's the only one that's got those filters. I have got one, but I converted it to an MH53, but I haven't painted it yet. So maybe I should do that, because there's a lot more come out on the market for the MH53 that I could use that's come out of other helicopters. And then maybe I can show how I do that. Because all the burns and the, so I did the Sea King, I also did the Navy Sea King. Do you know what? I have to go back through, because I went through my YouTube at the beginning. Ah, shit, that hurt. Excuse me, French. Cool. Bugger. Didn't draw blood, did it? Jesus. Whew. Pointed. All the companies won't re-release the helicopter until Marine Corps has done testing. Oh, yeah, because they made that new thing, didn't they? I don't like that new. I prefer this shape. Although it's still kind of the same helicopter, it's got that funny bullnose front and those massive sponsons on it for carrying extra fuel. But sometimes the old school just does it for me, and the new school seems to be a bit too, you know, everything modernises, doesn't it, I suppose, in a way. But, yeah. All right, here we go. That's that one on. I'm trying to think. So, what goes on the... God, that really did pigging hurt, that. God, son of a bitch. Where did it... Oh, right, I see where they go. Where did I put them? There they are. If I go with that one, that's it. And then, where's the... Oh, right. There we go. Right, that one. Oh no. Bloody things. Right. I try not to twizzle these tweezers around in my hand now. I mean, they got a pretty sharp point on them, and I had both of them open like that. And somehow they just managed to stick in my little finger, but without drawing any red wine. But they must have only just gone in. Cool, yeah. The old Robin out there, nattering away. Oh, the curves, old school planes, choppers, having the new stuff all flattening. Yeah, that's right. They do. They're all, it's like the other thing as well is all the aircraft now tend to be grey. I mean during the 70s and 80s we had some quite colourful schemes. I mean, we had what was it? I can remember going to Fairford to the Air Tattoo in the early 90s, and all the different colourful arts on the tails and the aeroplanes they had, and now they're all grey. So it's just like everything now is grey. They fly around like bloody clouds, and it does wonders for not seeing them. But when you bring them to air shows and stuff, they're still grey. Back in the day, you used to have the Asian camo, didn't you, with the two-tone green and the brown. You had the two-tone green and the grey on the A10s. Although I say it was a grey, it was when it was a black grey. And I got one of them to build as well, Great Wall Hobbies A10A. I've done the C, that's up there, hanging on the wall like a bat, a grey bat. You had those. You had our aircraft, which were a multitude of grey and greens. And you had the Harriers, which the Air Force One started off as green and then went to boring grey. I mean, I'll give, the Americans are still doing their cagbirds, so they're quite colourful, but there's only like one or two to a squadron now. As before, it used to be bloody loads. Used to have quite a few, didn't you? Or was it Victory 100, Victory 200? I think, depending on what squadron or unit it was, it could be a 101. All them type of, where's this going? Hang on, there. That's it. That goes there. And then where's this go? This goes down the bottom there. Where? There. It's funny that line don't exist on here. I'll have to guess girk it. There. That's a good idea. Old Bader and I can't think of his name, the German. He was they were both friends, weren't they? And he done the F-35 in the Bader Spitfire, and that I can't think of his name now. The German guy. Yeah, see, like the F-35, a lot of people don't like it, and yet I've got a 32 Trumpter one sat over there that I started to make earlier on this year. I can't remember. Why did I put it down? Oh, because I got some work from Revel. That's why I put it down. I've never picked it up since. But it's another good kit. It really is. It's another good kit. What's happening here? That's come. I've knocked that. It's what they call hanger rash. So it's there. So I'll just dob that on there. That's it. That should stick it down good and proper. Now I've got loads of arrows, but I can't see where the bloody hell they are on here. Well, they obviously do go on here, but so they're not there. There's one there, but maybe I've got to go to the. I've got the Tamiya 35A currently. I lost. Shit. How do I get to the chat then? Right, I'm fiddling because I'm wondering how. What's this thing? At least 1 minute of video is needed to start a highlight. Oh, right. I don't know what a highlight is. A lot. Oh, no. Oh, what's this? Top chat, live chat. God only knows. No. No, I'm going to stop pushing buttons. Do you know, I don't even know how you turn this thing off. So it says live, so you could carry on going live for like, 71 minutes. Jesus Christ. Like, I mean, how long could you go live? I don't know. Right, hang on, let me have a look. So it's now... Right, it's now 1:25. So what I'll do is I'm gonna call this a day for 1:30. I was eyeballing the Trump to 35 Canadian Force Bill, but I have no way. So the wife says, oh, good. Do you know what? The amount of people that come in my shop and they buy stuff and they go away and they say, shit, now I've got to ride it. And I say, it's easy. We've got Sainsbury's up the road. Go and ask them if they got any boxes. Why is that? I said, then put them in the boxes. Or just when you go in with a bag under your arm, just say it's loft insulation. I bought something for the loft. Wow, loft insulation. I heard that one. Amount of people have never heard that. I always used to say that. But I don't have to worry now because the missus knows who I work for, so she'll just tell Luke to sod in, stop giving them to him. Not that I ask for much. I must admit, it's... you get carried away and then your stash suddenly becomes more than your life does. And you haven't got that many days in your life to build that many kits. And I was getting to that stage and all of a sudden it was like, Jesus, what am I going to do with all this? And of course, next thing I know is someone broke into one of my lockouts and they all got wrecked. The kits got wrecked. So I had to throw an awful lot away. And then the one that I've got now, there's a lot of kits got to go in there. They got to go in the bin because the thing, I said to him, is it a dry? Yeah, it's definitely dry. No, it won't. It's such a large unit, I could fit my VW transporter in there. It had condensation, plastic roof, buggered it all. No worries, Stuart. Anyway, I'm going to call it a day now. Like I say, I've got to work out how you turn this sodding thing off. It was nice chatting to you too. I don't know your name, User41. Shout us your name and I'll, yeah. But, no, it's all good. I'm glad I had both Stuart and you, and there obviously was some other people on there. I just might not have seen all the conversation. Max, nice one, buddy. Right, so, yeah, I'll shut off now. I don't know how I'm going to do it, but I'll probably just shut off. Push the cross, I think it said. And nice to see you all. Take care. Stay safe. Keep building these things. And you'll get there towards the end of the stash. See you later, chaps. Ta-da!